Hello, and thank you for standing by for Bitauto's fourth quarter and fiscal year 2019 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the management prepared remarks, there will be a question-and-answer session. Today's conference is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. I would now like to turn the meeting over to your host for today's conference.
Thank you. Welcome to Bitauto's fourth quarter and fiscal year 2019 earnings conference call. Speakers from the company today are Mr. Andy Zhang, CEO, Mr. Xiaoke Liu, President, Mr. Ming Xu, CFO. After management's prepared remarks, Andy, Xiaoke, and Ming will be available to answer your questions. In addition, Nick Hu, Financial Controller of Yixin, will be available to answer your questions related to Yixin. Before we proceed, please note that discussions today will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities and Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties which may cause actual results to differ materially from our current expectations. Potential risks and uncertainties include, but are not limited to, those outlined in our public filings with the SEC, including registration statement on Form F-1. Bitauto does not undertake any obligations to update any forward-looking statement except as required under applicable law. This call will include discussions of certain unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. Please refer to our earnings release, which was issued earlier today, for reconciliations of these unaudited non-GAAP measures to the most directly comparable unaudited GAAP measures. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. In addition, a live and archived webcast of the conference will be available on our website. I will now turn the call over to Andy Zhang, CEO of Bitauto.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our fourth quarter and fiscal year 2019 earnings conference call. China's automobile industry remained challenging in the fourth quarter of 2019 as new passenger vehicle sales continued to decline year over year. Despite the substantial industry headwinds, Bitauto total revenue reached RMB 2.69 billion in the fourth quarter of 2019, exceeding the higher end of our guidance of RMB 2.55 billion. In our advertising and the subscription business, we were pleased to make further progress in increasing our mobile traffic as we improve the quality and the quantity of our sales leads. In terms of traffic, according to Quest Mobile, in January 2020, DAU, daily active users of the Bitauto Media app, increased by 256% compared to October 2018, when we roll out the upgraded version. Moreover, the combined DAU of both Bitauto Media app and our auto pricing app increased by approximately 40% year over year in January 2020. Amid declining new passenger vehicle sales, we grew our number of sales leads by 8.8% year over year in the fourth quarter of 2019, with the proportion of organic sales leads rising to nearly 70% of that. We have also seen improved quality of sales leads in terms of higher conversion rates as measured by the store's visits and the number of transactions. Backed by these solid operating metrics, our revenue from advertising and the subscription business for the fourth quarter came in better than expected at RMB 1.07 billion. Amid the current industry downturn, we continue to make strategic spending to strengthen our brand, the Bitauto brand. We view brand building as a long-term commitment, which will allow us to broaden our user base and provide a better value proposition for our automakers and dealer customers. We've been achieving very encouraging progress from our ongoing strategic branding campaign. Based on online awareness metrics such as Baidu Index and third-party offline consumer surveys, Bitauto has recorded a significant improvement in brand recognition among automobile consumers over a fairly short period of time. Now looking at our transaction services business, despite an unfavorable industry environment in the fourth quarter, Yixin further expanded its loan facilitation service business, which grew 3% year over year and then contributed 82% of total finance transactions. For the full year 2019, Yixin maintained steady growth and further solidified its industry-leading position by leveraging its leadership advantages and trackable credibility. Yixin continued to tighten its risk control standards to better adapt to the changing regulatory environment as many local governments begin to implement stricter rules for collection of delinquent accounts. Looking into 2020, Bitauto will remain committed to investing resources in key strategic initiatives that strengthen our long-term competitiveness. First, We'll continue to enhance our content, products, and services to provide better value and experience to automobile consumers and car owners. We'll continue to roll out the optimize our AI-based, result-driven marketing solutions to more mainstream automakers. We'll also increase our R&D investments to improve functionalities and the user experience of our business-to-business B2B products for our automakers and dealer customers. Second, to further broaden Bitauto's user base and improve our value proposition to our business partners, we will continue working on increasing our mobile traffic as well as quantity and the quality of our leads. Third, we'll continue investing in our brand building campaign to raise Bitauto's brand recognition among automobile consumers. We're confident that all of these efforts will help form a solid foundation to boost our long-term growth going forward. Lastly, Yixin will proactively adopt a more conservative risk assessment methodology while partnering with dealers and financial institution partners to identify opportunities within China's automobile market as we adapt to the industry uncertainties we have been facing, as well as the impact from the coronavirus epidemic. Before I turn the call to Min, let me share with you some of our thoughts about the recent outbreak of the coronavirus. The epidemic has significantly affected the overall economy and the people's daily lives in China since late January. While we see near-term challenges, we also find some longer-term opportunities for us to capture. In response to the coronavirus outbreak, Bitauto initiated various measures to support our automaker and dealer customers to weather this difficult period together with our business partners. For example, as the epidemic evolves, we've been offering free VR video live broadcasting services to help automakers and dealers promote their branding and to stimulate their automobile sales. In terms of the impact of Bitauto, while it remains difficult to give you a quantitative comment at the moment, let me give you some of our qualitative observations. Since late January, many automakers and dealers' business operations have been disrupted. This has led to very weak sentiment among automobile advertisers, and it caused some delay of their marketing spending. As a result, we expect some pressure on our advertising revenue in the near term. Nonetheless, as the majority of automaker and dealer customers are delaying but not canceling their marketing campaigns, and many of them shifting their offline budgets to online channel, we see long-term growth opportunities in new type of services, such as online auto show for automakers, new car launch, together with VR video live broadcasts and other forms of online marketing. In summary, Bitauto will remain devoted to strengthening our brand recognition and adding more value to our automobile customers and consumers. Amid near-term challenges from the coronavirus outbreak, we'll continue to protect our staff, ensure operational efficiency, and explore ways to support and grow together with our business partners. We're confident in strengthening Bitauto's value proposition and building Bitauto into China's top online automobile media and transaction services platform. With that, I'll turn the call over to Min to go over the financials.
Thank you, Andy. Good evening, everyone. Bitauto's total revenue and revenue from our advertising and subscription business for the fourth quarter of 2019 were both better than expected, thanks to our efforts to enhance Bitauto's brand and increase traffic, as well as the quality and the quantity of sales leads. While we continue our strategic spendings in branding into the coming years, we expect such investment to weigh on our profitability in the near term. However, we are confident that these investments will not only allow us to create better value for automaker and dealer customers, but also help us to lower user acquisition costs going forward, which will significantly strengthen Bitauto's long-term competitiveness and profitability. Now let's look at our Q4 2019 and full year 2019 financial highlights before moving to Q&A. Please note that I will reference mainly to financial figures in RMB in the following discussion. Bitauto reported revenue of RMB 2.69 billion in the fourth quarter of 2019, compared with RMB 3.12 billion in the corresponding period in 2018. Revenue from the advertising and subscription business in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 1.07 billion, compared to RMB 1.16 billion in the corresponding period in 2018. mainly due to the decrease in marketing spending by automakers and dealers caused by the continued decline in new car sales. Revenue from the transaction services business in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 1.2 billion compared to RMB 1.56 billion in the corresponding period in 2018, as Yixin continues to tighten its risk control standards and enhance asset quality to better adapt to the changing regulatory environment, which has impacted its transaction volume. Revenue from the digital marketing solution business in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 418.8 million, representing a 6.4% increase from RMB 393.7 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Cost of revenue in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 1.1 billion, compared to RMB 1.43 billion in the corresponding period in 2018. Cost of revenue as a percentage of revenue in the fourth quarter of 2019 was 40.8% compared to 45.8% in the corresponding period in 2018. Gross profit in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 1.59 billion, compared to RMB 1.69 billion in the corresponding period in 2018. Selling and administrative expenses in the fourth quarter of 2019 were 2.39 billion, representing a 23% increase from the corresponding period in 2018. This increase was primarily due to the increase in marketing spending associated with the company's branding and marketing efforts, and the increase in provision for credit losses of financial receivables, partially offset by the decrease in share-based compensation. Product development expenses in the fourth quarter of 2019 were RMB 157.8 million, representing an 18.3% increase from the corresponding period in 2018. The increase was primarily due to an increase in expense related to product development personnel. Share-based compensation, which was allocated to related operating expense line items, was RMB 81.3 million in the fourth quarter of 2019, compared to RMB 421.6 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Non-GAAP loss from operation in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 573.5 million, compared to a non-GAAP income from operations of RMB 265.4 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Net loss in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 978.2 million, compared to RMB 398.3 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Net loss attributable to Bitauto in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 922.4 million, compared to RMB 416.7 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Non-GAAP net loss in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 576.5 million, compared to a non-GAAP net income of RMB 199 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Non-GAAP net loss attributable to Bitauto in the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 573.5 million, compared to our non-GAAP net income attributable to Bitauto of RMB 118.6 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Basic and diluted net loss per ADS, each representing one ordinary share in the fourth quarter of 2019, amounted to RMB 12.95, $1.86, and RMB 12.95, $1.86, respectively. Non-GAAP basic and diluted net loss per ADS in the fourth quarter of 2019 amounted to RMB 8.07, $1.16, and RMB 8.07, $1.16, respectively. As of December 21st, 2019, the company had cash and cash equivalent and restricted cash of RMB 7.51 billion, cash provided by operating activities, cash provided by investing activities, and cash used in financing activities in the fourth quarter of 2019 were RMB 835.3 million, RMB 3.56 billion, and RMB 5.81 billion, respectively. I will only go through a few selective highlights for 2019 full year, since we've covered the detail in our earnings release. Revenue in 2019 was RMB 10.75 billion, representing a 1.6% increase from 2018. Revenue from the advertising and subscription business in 2019 was RMB 3.9 billion, compared to RMB 4.07 billion in 2018. Revenue from the transaction service business in 2019 was RMB 5.75 billion, representing a 7.1% increase from RMB 5.37 billion in 2018, mainly attributable to the growth in the company's loan facilitation business, partially offset by the decrease in revenue from self-operated financing business. Revenue from the digital marketing solution business in 2019 was RMB 1.1 billion, compared to RMB 1.13 billion in 2018. Gross profit in 2019 was RMB 6.51 billion, representing a 2.7% increase from 2018. Non-GAAP income from the operation in 2019 was RMB 127 million, compared to RMB 1.11 billion in 2018. Non-GAAP net income in 2019 was RMB 33.6 million, compared to RMB 934.7 million in 2018. Non-GAAP net loss attributable to Bitauto in 2019 was RMB 214.1 million, compared to a non-GAAP net income attributable to Bitauto of RMB 708.9 million in 2019. Non-GAAP basic and diluted net loss per ADS in 2019 amounted to RMB 3.05 and RMB 3.15 respectively. The number of employees totaled 7,935 as of December 31st, 2019, including employees of entity in which Bitauto has acquired and holds controlling interest. This represented a 4.6% decrease year-over-year, primarily due to the decreased headcount in sales, marketing, and customer support as part of the strategic efforts to optimize operation efficiency. In addition, given Yixin's scale and significance to Bitauto, I would also like to share with you some of Yixin's operating and financial highlights for Q4 and full year 2019. Bitauto's controlled subsidiary Yixin, a primary operator of the company's transaction service business, continued to develop its loan facilitation services and further tighten its risk control standard to better adjust to China's generally weak economic conditions and changing regulatory environment. In the fourth quarter of 2019, Yixin facilitated approximately 109,000 financed transactions, representing a year-over-year decrease of 24%. The total aggregate financing amount facilitated through Yixin's loan facilitation services and self-operated financing business was approximately RMB 8.1 billion. In the fourth quarter of 2019, Yixin continued to develop its loan facilitation services and further strengthen its partnership by working with 12 banks and financial institutions, including an auto finance company. For the 3 months ended December 31st, 2019, Yixin facilitated approximately 89,000 financed transactions, representing a year-over-year increase of 3%, and contributed 82% of Yixin's total financed transactions. In the fourth quarter of 2019, on the US GAAP, Yixin's total revenue reached RMB 1.21 billion. New core services revenue, which include revenue from loan facilitation services and the new self-operated financing lease transactions Yixin facilitated during the year, reached RMB 666.9 million. For the year ended December 31st, 2019, Yixin's total financed transaction increased by 8% year-over-year to approximately 522,000. The aggregate financing amount facilitated through its loan facilitation services and self-operated financing business was approximately RMB 40 billion, representing a 5% year-over-year increase. In 2019, Yixin cooperated with 12 banks and financial institutions and facilitated approximately 347,000 financed transactions, representing a 141% year-over-year increase, and in aggregate contributed 66% of Yixin's total financed transaction for the full year 2019. For the year ended December 31st, 2019, on the US GAAP, Yixin's total revenue were RMB 5.79 billion, gross profit reached RMB 2.76 billion, net loss was RMB 3.3 million, and the non-GAAP net income was RMB 402.6 million. Yixin's non-GAAP net income is calculated as net loss excluding share-based compensation of RMB 233.1 million, amortization of intangible asset resulting from asset and business acquisition of RMB 173 million, and offset by a tax effect of RMB 0.2 million. In 2019, Yixin entered into certain transaction with other subsidiaries of Bitauto, which were eliminated upon Bitauto's consolidation of Yixin. The revenue that Yixin recorded for the services provided to those subsidiaries of Bitauto amounted to RMB 18.1 million. As of December 31st, 2019, Yixin had cash and cash equivalent and restricted cash of RMB 3.49 billion, total finance receivable of RMB 27.02 billion, and total borrowing, including bank borrowing and asset-backed securitization debt of RMB 19.84 billion. As of December 31st, 2019, 90-day plus days past due ratio and including 100 days plus and 180-day plus past due ratio for all the financed transaction, including the third-party loan facilitation, were 1.3% and 0.33% respectively. On the US GAAP, Yixin's provision for credit loss of finance receivable for the fourth quarter of 2019 was RMB 361.1 million, and for the year ended December 31st, 2019, was RMB 862.7 million. The balance of provision for credit loss of finance receivables was RMB 566.4 million as of December 31st, 2019. With that, I will now turn to the guidance for the first quarter of 2020. Bitauto currently expect to generate revenue in the range of RMB 1.7 billion to RMB 1.8 billion in the fourth quarter of 2020. This forecast takes into considerations of seasonality factors in Bitauto's business, and it excludes any impact of foreign currency fluctuation. In particular, as situations surrounding the coronavirus outbreak in China and globally continue to evolve, business visibility remains limited. So the above expect management's current and preliminary review, which is subject to change. Let's now start the Q&A session. Andy, myself, Xiaoke, and Nick are available to take your questions. Operators, please go ahead.
The question and answer session of this conference call will start in a moment. In order to be fair to all callers who wish to ask questions, we will take one question at a time from each caller. If you have more than one question, please request to join the question queue again after your first question has been addressed. We will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press the pound or hash key. Your first question comes from the line of Eddie Wang of Morgan Stanley. Please ask your question.
Hi, Andy, Xiaoke, Ming. Thank you for taking my question. My question is about the auto market. When you expect we will witness a meaningful recovery of the auto sales? I know currently the visibility could be a little bit low given a lot of moving parts, especially the coronavirus is still an uncertainty. But any color will be helpful. And a quick follow-up will be that if there's a recovery, so which of your business, I mean the advertising business and the transaction services business, which business will recover faster, and which one will be a little bit later in terms of the recovery? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take that question. First of all, I think we've already seen recovery from the market itself. there are a few indications. First of all, we do have stats of daily passenger car sales in China. Not that up to date, but still just about a week delay. So we've already seen some of the volumes recover up to 40% of last year's. Compared to compared to second month, February, where that we've only seen maybe 10%, 15% of the market. So it's already a huge leap in terms of volume increase. We do expect that recovery will continue into the second quarter. I think hopefully will normalize sometime in the early third quarter or so. Another indication is actually coming from our own consumer interest, as well as reflected into our traffic and leads that we accumulate on a daily basis. We've seen this ratio recovering a lot faster than the actual auto sales. So in other words, that we're guessing that a lot of the consumers are doing their initial research work, getting ready to purchase sometime in the next month or two, which will all most likely take place in the second quarter. So we believe the market will rebound sometime in second quarter and then normalize in third quarter. There's only one concern recently that's coming to our attention is that because the entire world has been affected by this epidemic, so a lot of the spare parts company are also being affected, and they stop manufacturing different parts for different models. China's auto without hundreds of thousands of different passenger car models are all having more or less imported parts while it's in its making. So therefore, we may run into a period of continued demand from consumers, but maybe lack of inventory to deliver, supply to deliver to meet these demands. If that'll ever happen, most likely probably will happen in sometime mid to late the third quarter. That's our own estimation. That's our own information. We're using that for our own analysis purposes. And in terms of business, which one will be recovered first? I think obviously advertising will be the first one to sort of feel it because the traffic's back to normal, lead gen's back to normal. So we'll continue to show that to the OEMs, and because OEM to already witness that particular demand coming from online, I think they're also being restored in terms of confidence-wise to expect more sales in the second quarter. So that one will definitely recover the fastest. So when the sales of vehicles actually takes place, then Yixin will benefit. The transaction services business will benefit because Yixin is a selling of a byproduct that's supportive of the sale of a vehicle. So only when that sale happens, then Yixin will benefit from. So in terms of pace-wise, that will be the advertising, then the transactions. Thank you.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Your next question comes from the line of Bin Ding of JP Morgan. Please ask your question.
Good evening, management. Thanks for taking my question. My question is on your marketing campaign. So you initiated a large-scale promotion campaign since first quarter last year. Can you share some color in terms of the initial results or payoffs from the marketing activities? And also, I note that because of the coronavirus outbreak, some internet companies have already become very stringent on spending and more focused on cost control. So given the current epidemic, will there be any changes to our marketing plans in 2020? Thank you.
你好，那我来回答一下关于市场的品宣的这个相关的问题。首先呢，在去年的4月份到今年的春节期间，我们进行了连续一轮的整个的品牌的宣传。那在这个里边呢，我们可以看到，在投放期间，我们的自然的新增的用户得到了一个大幅的增长。在高峰期是我们日常的将近1倍以上。
谁发？你再重复一遍吧，没事，再重复一遍吧。
我再重新说一下，我们在去年的从10月份开始，一直到今年的春节期间，进行了一连续的品牌的传播的计划。那整个的品牌传播计划是从大概10月份以分众户外广告为开始，一直到春节期间电视广告进行整个的完整的覆盖。那从整体的数据效果来看，我们还是很满意的。从现在开始呢，在品牌传播期间，我们的自然的新增增长了1倍以上所以呢，这个是带来品牌传播带来的第一个直接的效果。
Thanks, Mimi, for your question, and sorry for the disruption because we are calling from multiple offices. So basically, we started our marketing campaign since October of 2019, and we continued that campaign until Chinese New Year of this year. And as you may see, we actually deployed our advertisement on multiple channels, including elevators and also TV and online buses, etc. And so far, we have seen very encouraging result from the initial stage of our branding campaign. For example, the organic download of our apps during our campaign actually doubled from previously.
除了在自然新增的维度来说，我们看到品牌的第一提及率也有一个大幅的上升，也增长了将近1倍以上。
And aside from that, we also see that the consumer perception of our brand, as measured by the mention rate, the first mention rate, when we do multiple surveys with consumers, it actually shows that the first mention rate of our name of our website actually doubled before and after the campaign.
同时，类似于我们在品牌在类似于百度指数、微信指数上都呈现了几倍的一个增长的态势。
And also in terms of online awareness matrix such as Baidu Index, WeChat Index, our reading of those indexes both doubled or even tripled after the campaign.
所以可以看到品牌的传播对易车的用户的传播的效果和我们实际看到的这个对 app 的拉动的作用是十分明显的。
So it's actually showing that our branding campaign actually helps to lift our brand and to raise the consumer awareness of our brand. It has been showing a quite significant effect.
当然我们相信呢，品牌传播对我们来说是一个长期的计划。在2020年呢，我们还会有持续的相应的传播的计划。在今年的2个高峰期间因为我们通过易车的研究院看到今年的车市会在2季度和4季度，分别是2个高峰期间，我们也会有相应的传播的这个配搭的相应的活动。
So we believe that this branding campaign is a long-term project. We have a long-term commitment to this project, so we will continue our campaign in 2020. And in terms of timing, our eChe Academy, which is an internal research body supporting ourselves and the OEMs, the research indicates that there could be a 2 peak season for auto sales this year, one in Q2 and one in Q4, and we will also deploy our campaign accordingly.
我们相信呢，在今年的品牌传播之后，易车无论在品牌的知名度还是在自然新增等相应的维度，还会进一步的走高。
So we believe after this year's branding campaign, our brand image, brand awareness, or the organic download of our apps will continue to improve.
以上就是我的回答，谢谢。
Okay, so that's my answer to your first question. So Bingbing, could you repeat your second question? Sorry, I missed it.
Okay, so I think some of the internet companies which have already reported, they all mentioned they will become more stringent on spending and focus more on cost controls in this year because of the coronavirus. So given the current situation, will there be any changes to our marketing plans in 2020?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We're also adjusting our branding campaign as the market situation and also the epidemic situation evolves. For example, during the Chinese New Year, we originally planned to spend a lot in cinema pre-roll ads. But as you know, all the blockbusters for Chinese New Year has been canceled. So we changed our plan very fast, and we redeploy those resources into TV ads to leverage the raise in the viewership during the Chinese New Year when everyone have to stay at home. So this is an example of how we have been reacting to this evolving situation. I believe that in 2020, as the market evolves, we will continue to make adjustments to that. And also, we believe that the current market environment, when a lot of startups are canceling or slashing their marketing budget, even including some of the public companies due to funding or capital market concerns, actually gave us a very good bargaining power when we negotiate with different media. So that's something we'll also take advantage of.
Thank you for the comment. Thank you very much.
Your next question comes from the line of Liping Zhao of CICC. Please ask your question.
Good evening, Andy, Xiaoke, and thanks for taking my questions. So I'm wondering, how is the contract renewal with the dealers so far? Did you see any headwinds?
Thanks, Liping, for your question. So yes, I think for this year, one of the silver lining of this very tough, challenging environment is so far our subscription business has been doing quite well. Actually, we are seeing a very high contract renewal rate in start of January. Most of our existing customers in 2019 stayed with us. And in addition to that, we have been able to add a few thousands of new customers. So therefore, as a result, the number of our subscribers doesn't decline a lot. It has a slight decline from end of 2019, but actually it's very mild. And also, we have been able to narrow the gap with our competitor. I know that people in the market are talking about mass store close down start of the year, which may cause some decline in our competitors or in some of the other industry participants' number of subscribers. To us, we didn't really experience that. Most of our subscribers last year, they stay alive this year, and they continue to go with us. But of course, there is a possibility that there are some 2,000 to 3,000 stores closed down, unfortunately, in the market, and because possibly because those stores only subscribe the other market participants' product, so we don't really know about those, and then they are the one that has been impacted. But that also points to the risk of only sticking to one platform, and also it shows that our service and our product have been able to helping our customers in 2019 through the very challenging market environment. which is the reason they're willing to stay with us.
I think, allow me to add a little more comments on this particular situation, where we view this as one of the positive turning points of Bitauto's overall business in general. In the past history, at times we struggle with our brand recognition, even within the industry, where we face different criticisms on the quality and quantity of our sales leads, on the overall influence among the consumers. Actually started from late 2018, the company's strategy has been specifically to improve that, turning that into a positive spin rather than a negative spin. So amount of the investments have been made on the brand rebuilding, on the product rebuilding, on the customer satisfaction side of the products, and also work that has been carried out throughout the last 15 to 18 months. The highest ever renewal rate on our front in terms of on the dealership subscription business at the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, it's a perfect indication of view change, not only from consumers, but also from the industry players, which mainly the upper stream for us, which are including the OEMs and the dealers. As well as being able to shorten in the distance between us and some of the other players in the industry. So we'll continue to, because to us it's fairly effective. So I think we're very determined to put this positive spin in pretty much every facet of our businesses, not only just limiting to the dealership subscription. So moving forward, I think continue to invest in the brandings, continue to turn this positive effect, letting people witness that the traffic-wise, the quality of lead-wise, everything has been increasing drastically and significantly. We would like to continue this particular change in 2020 and onwards. So this is not easy for us, but at least at this moment, we start to see different feedbacks, different positive feedbacks from different areas, different facets, different partners that we work with in different businesses. So that's what we need in terms of carry us through this tough time, through the virus time, through the downturn of the industry. But I think it adds a lot of confidence into the management team as well as our partners. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Andy and Ming.
We are now approaching the end of the conference call. I will now turn the call over to Bitauto CFO Ming Xu for closing remarks.
Okay, once again, thank you for joining us today. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any further questions. Thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to talking with you in the coming months.
Thank you for your participation in today's conference. This concludes the presentation. You may now disconnect, and good day to everyone.